Not even 24 hours has passed since our past opening, and it's not looking good for our opponents. We had a really good start and we managed to dominate all throughout. So this is top versus bottom. These are our forts. This is the enemy fort right here. We managed to kill off, I think, 2, maybe even 3 forts before they finish building. I could be wrong about this. But we're making steady progress towards locking them out of the zone. So it's looking pretty much decided a couple hours ago, which is something that's not really the case for us as a kingdom in the last couple KVKs. We usually don't have a really good time in the first zone opening. But I will not complain. I had a lot of fun. And I was streaming yesterday, so in the end of the video I will link the video to the stream in the description as well as at the end screen so you can check it out. So these are my accounts. So this is the main account and this is the other account. I played 2 accounts. I would say I played both of these accounts 3 hours each, and they basically had identical tech. So this was the tech I had max. The first call to arms, and I had 9 out of 10 call to arms yesterday during the pass opening. This was from today. I basically did not have any point further than this because I was mainly focused on cutting corners and troop capacity. And troop capacity is king, as well as march speed. So for me, in this current seed, which is like low A, high B seed, having troop capacity is king. Stats, nice, but true capacity is what you want. So this was basically under 15 million crystals spent. Yeah, just under 15 million. And I was able to get really good trades. Now obviously the quality of opponents vary, but I would say I didn't do too bad. So when it comes to the healing individually, it was pretty even, all things considered. I spent 3.6 billion resources for 5 something million kills, 5.4. We'll see how much I can do, but so far for the first hour, for the first zone opening, at one point at my highest I was like top 20. But I didn't play this account in well over 12 hours, so it's understandable I dropped this much, but it's all shown on the stream. And take a look at my current inventory. I still have a decent amount of resources for my own standards, as well as speed ups. I only spent around 70 days with speed ups, so I still have quite a lot in that regard. But when it comes to resources, the gold will always be the bottleneck for me, but it will do, it will suffice. Now, the marches that I used are as follows. So at the beginning, I used to random teleport because I have a city garrison right now, and I didn't use my Philip march. I only used 4 marches. So I used QSH with ZL, I used Sun Tzu with LC, BQ Wallace, Arthur with Achilles. And if you take a look at the reports, I can confidently say number 1 march was QSH with the new wedge formation. I will also show the talents and armaments and things, everything. But the undisputed king for me still is QSH. I use ZL. I use on the other account I used YSG. Both did amazing, so you cannot go wrong with this pairing. And the 5th worst trade was obviously the Philip. Philip is not here for the trades. Philip is here to make my other 4 marches do as much as possible. So always take these support type of reports with a grain of salt, because it's not their primary purpose to trade well. But it can obviously trade well in certain circumstances. But I am not expecting it to trade well. So number 1 is QSH, number 5 is Philip. Now number 2 is going to be, so if you take a glance here, it's going to be Sun Tzu LC. Okay, maybe not the best example, but Sun Tzu LC, I use LC, I don't use BQ. I like LC for the earlier skill activations, and I'm all about skill activations. You will see by my equipment choices. And I am really happy with this March. Really happy with this March. And I can confidently say QSA ZL and Sun Tzu LC are my two best marchers, 4 best commanders that I have. Everything else is kind of a bonus. They're just dummies, decoys for my real marchers. And if you take a look at these reports, you can tell already. I didn't really put up a spreadsheet on that. I didn't delete any report. This is basically how it went down. And number 3 is a toss-up between Arthur and BQ. I would say Arthur, surprisingly, I thought since it's calorie, it can get out of position a bit more faster. But I really tried my best to do the stacking technique, and I would say the most out of position march was the Philip Scipio, which just tells me I need to work on more infantry march speed, and I will do that as time goes on during the KVK. But overall, I was pretty surprised by my calorie march, because in the last KVK my calorie was getting decimated, so I didn't really like it. So you can see here, really, I can always bank on QSH to give me a really good report without even too much trying. So as you can see, good trades all around. I obviously have a very active play style. I usually sometimes, you can be seen on the stream, I'm the one in the vanguard as a free to play. I want to push people to make the first move. So obviously my trades will take a hit when I do that, but it's all for the greater good. Okay, so this is the first positive report I've seen so far from Philip, but it can still happen, obviously. And as you can see, the average is, like I said, QSH first, Sun Tzu second, Arthur number 3, BQ number 4. And I've seen people recommend me to use BQLC as Sun Tzu. Well, I like to use Wallace with BQ because BQ is kind of a glass cannon, and Wallace gives him some stats and some, some tankiness with his kills, and I like that pairing. So I'm gonna stick with it. I use it on both accounts. As you can see, I even gave some deads. People forget to fill up their hospital, which is understandable, especially if they get caught off guard. Okay, this is one of the worst ones, but yeah, it all depends on the scenario. Are you the first one engaging? Are you trying to, swarm things? And I had a swarming situation on my other account, but overall I had a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to the next zones. As you can see here, dominant victory. I'm not sure how is this a dominant victory, but alright. Sometimes these reports tell another story. You can see these reports, Okay, BQ Wallace is doing work here. So it depends on the situation. I would say I'm pretty happy with my memorable overall. I'm just doing some finishing touches here or there, but I'm very happy with my lineup. And yeah, this is the one at the beginning. Yeah. So the talent builds. So this is my Sun Tzu LC. I managed to crit this hammer on the stream yesterday, so one more reason to check out the stream. I use a drum and a horn on it. So my skill activations, if you watch my streams, you will see they will pop off like crazy because I have a lot of horns and I have a lot of drums in the lineup. So this obviously plays a big factor. The talent build I go for is the March Speed build, because March Speed is king alongside True Capacity, like I said at the beginning of the video. So I'm always looking forward to having more March Speed. And my armaments are Pincer, nothing too crazy here, but obviously very offensive with the assertive, 2% all damage. Then we got the cavalry, another horn and drum. This is a crit horn because it's combo. I want to have a lot of rage regeneration there as well. This is my best set of armaments on the account. Really happy with this particular set. And the talent build I go for is a bit, on the defensive side. I could go for here, but I went for this one, and it's, judging by these reports, it's working, so I'm not gonna change it. Then we got the main man, which, if you take a look at my gear, it's really optimized for these pairing. I got the full dragon set, I got crit and tier 5 boots, I got the ring and pendant. I basically got maximum damage, and I really can't wait to get the new Wedge 2 scroll inscription, which I will definitely get by the end of KVK, or at the end of KVK, and it's gonna be even stronger next KVK. So I'm looking forward to making this march as good as it possibly can be, and I'm really happy with this march. So if you're free to play watching this, really QSH and YSG or QSH ZL is what you need to work on first. This march will carry you so far. Now the talent build I go for has a bit changed. I used to go for Naked Rage, but I opted out of it now. I'm going for like this full Whistling Arrows build. And as you can see, it works. I am definitely not complaining, and it's doing wonders. Now, Philip, so this particular setup, what you see here is also the city garrison. Obviously I'm not using the drums, I use the ring from my archer march, and I put the drums here so I can have horn and ring on my city garrison. So obviously I have some infantry bias here. I'm using with Scipio Prime, and it does as well as you would expect from a support march. It does wonders compared to my previous support march, which was Trajan Mulan, because this march actually does some damage, and it surprisingly can get tanky at times. So the only thing that's really downfall from it is the lack of march speed, but I can definitely work on that with the tech. And the inscriptions here are definitely working. Like I said, I want to have a lot of rage going on. I want a lot of skill activations, and I really like going this route. Obviously it comes at a cost with bad trades on this march, but I find it worth it. Some people don't see it as worth it. Some people want to have the 5th march to be a really good damage march, but this is my choice, and I like to have something different. Now my garrison, like I said, is Matthias. Now it's not like a complete garrison, but my strategy is, because Matthias does a lot of skill damage and he has a chance to do his active skill again, I want to have as much damage pumping out as possible, because 50% more skill damage on his active skill, which can activate more than once, is really powerful. But if I want to switch, if I'm getting swarmed, I have triple relic YSG, and I have triple relic Martel as a substitute. And here he is talent build, which is kind of universal build for rally and swarm. I'm going for know the enemy for the swarms. Strategic prowess is really good on Matthias because, like I said, the active skills, you get more defense, you get all damage from having more troops. Effortless is really good against rallies. More counterattack damage is always good. And this one, like the last couple points. And these are my makeshift city garrison armaments. They're a work in progress still, but this will do just good enough. And I haven't tested out it yet, but it will come in handy, I'm sure. If not this KVK, and then the next one. So got a lot of stats, a lot of counterattack from the inscriptions, but down the line I will want to have the special inscription from the shop in this place. I believe it's 15% counterattack, if I'm not wrong, which is a lot of counterattack. Basically Martel levels of counterattack. Let's see. I think it's Bell already, right? Yeah, it is. 15% boost to counterattack. So there it is on this account. Now I will show you the other account, but I deleted the reports earlier this morning because I logged in without my coffee, so go figure. But The biggest drawback is this account is VIP 18, and VIP 18 gives you a lot of good buffs already. It gives you March speed, gives you unit capacity, and healing resource costs. So this already at the start, with identical tech, has been proven a much more better experience, because it gives you what I already want from this account: more March speed, more unit capacity, and more less healing needed. I mean, less resources needed for healing. So if I can get VIP 18 on this account, which is going to be a pretty unlikely miracle, I will definitely notice the difference. So if you want to catch some of this in action, you can see the link in the description as well as on your screen right now. You can check out what I did in action. And with all that said, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next upload.